There. Sound. You guys should be able to hear me now. Anyway, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Moltar is here, always fucking up the audio. Without fail, I will screw that up. No question. I'll just screw it up. But we're back after things blew up, burst into flames, catastrophic failure on Moltar's PC. Power supply died. Took the motherboard with it, which then said, I'm not going alone, and took my NVMe drive. And the NVMe drive was like, hey, bro, I made sure I had really valuable stuff on me, took all of my streaming stuff with it. It didn't take any of the images or anything with it, but it took all my scenes and stuff, so where everything's placed and all the audio and all the OBS stuff, that went bye-bye. Had to reinstall everything, but sometimes, you know, rebirthing in the way of the Phoenix is the way to go, and things just run better after everything blows up in your face. So I tried to simplify things going on with the stream. Same effect. I just tried to get rid of some of the background shit. I redid my camera. It now autofocuses. Colors look a little weird, but that's because I was taking pictures with it at my son's soccer game, and I was messing with the colors because the sunlight, it does screw colors up sometimes with the camera, and I forgot to change the lighting or the camera color settings in my camera back. But anyway, how did the rock pile event go? It didn't happen because the landscapers weren't ready, but I had soccer and stuff anyway for my son, so landscapers weren't ready. We were waiting on the fence stuff, so we ended up having to move that back. So rock pile moving will be taking place in a couple weeks. There'll be another Saturday more than likely. That maybe we'll do it Sunday, I don't know. But there may be another time here coming soon that we may miss another stream. NVMe drive, it's like a PCI Express hard drive. They're really fast. And I have a couple of them. One was my boot drive, and it coincidentally had all of my OBS stuff on it. Back your shit up, ladies and gentlemen. Back it up. It needs to be backed up. I did not back that stuff up, and I paid the piper for it. Anyway. In other news, we're not going to talk about it today, but my Black Hog came in. And no, I'm not talking about penises. I'm talking about the Black Hog button box, which is down here. You guys can't see it. I've got it mounted because I was testing it out, and I don't want to weigh in on it quite yet. But it did come in, and it is nice. The buttons feel, if anybody has a DSD or a Derek Spears Designs button box, the buttons feel really similar. The sliders are actually analog axis, so I like it a lot. I'm gonna upload a video for next stream. The box that it came in looked like, so it came from Europe on a boat because shipping has been crazy with all the COVID-19 stuff going on. So it was shipped over on a boat. Well, the box that it came in looked like it fell off the boat into the ocean and was hit by the propeller. I have no idea how it survived. Kudos to Black Hog for the packaging they did. It was a double-walled box. Everything was wrapped in plastic. The product inside works, and there's no damage to it. But the thing looks like it fell off the boat and then was hit by a propeller. I mean, that's how bad the box and the shipping looked. It took like 3 months for it to get here. It took a long, long time. No, this was the original order. He didn't need to send me another one. It finally got here. Maybe it got lost in one of the sorting machines that USPS supposedly dismantled and thrown in a dumpster. I don't know. But it works. They also sent me a knee board that straps to your leg that you can ride on. It's pretty cool. So that was pretty cool. In other news, I am waiting. It's going to be happening while this stream's going live here in about an hour. The NVIDIA announcement for the 3000 series is going to be going on today. So if anybody's going to be watching that at the same time, I want the news on the 3090. Enlighten me while this stream is going on, chat. This is your job. You must tell me how this is going to go. Okay? Yeah? You got to, if anybody's watching that stream, you got to tell dear old Moltar what the 3000 NVIDIA cards are going to be like. I upgraded my power supply because the other one died, obviously. I got a Corsair 1600i. She's a big boy. 1600 watts. Like, zero ripple for overclocking. I ended up finding out that my old MOBO, my old motherboard, even though it died and it was working, had some problems in the VRMs that was causing some issues with overclocking. And I actually, with this new motherboard, was able to drop my voltage for my CPU by 0.04 volts, which people be like, that's not a lot. Dude, it dropped my temperatures by like 3 degrees at idle. I'm sitting at like a nice chilly 27 degrees at 5.3 on a 10900K. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I do need a nuclear reactor, which is why I got a 1600. I mean, I'm running 2 GPUs, several other daughter cards. I'm actually may need to go 3 GPUs, 12 hard drives. My 10900K at full load's pulling over 300 watts. And if I go to a 3090, that's going to be overclocked over 400 watt TDP probably. So, I mean, 800 watts or so just between the CPU and the MOBO. That's significant. Significant! Anyway, match today. Task Force Trident taking on Joint Task Force France. Are you guys ready? Gold League action. Supercut. Now. Here we go. Alpha Whiskey is getting so good. Oh, So good. Man, God. I got to put my ugly face on here so we're not just staring at aircraft as they get ready to taxi. But, guys, huge shout-outs to Alpha Whiskey. I mean, he was good at the beginning, but now, those supercuts. Damn. Like, woo. The music, sound choice. Sorry, I'm just, let me get this out of my system. He does get a decent chunk of money. So he's definitely not doing this for free. That's for damn sure. I couldn't do that to him. Could not do that to him. Anyway, I gotta get my my webcam here. So let's grab this. Let's go here. Let's go boop. Just put that down there. Let's resize that. Sorry guys, I'm just getting the webcams ready to rock as I move things around. Anyway, all right. Remind me to turn those off, the webcam off. But we are here on the deck at Sanaki, looking on to Task Force Trident. We got Plague Doctor, and I think that's Rex sitting in front of us. It is Rex sitting in front of us. I'm ready for this. Hawk EXO asks, are those montages on YouTube? They are. Go to the DCS World Events YouTube channel. Stuff's down below. Panel. Check the panel. They are available. There's a playlist of all of them with the replays for the streams if you guys miss any of the action. That is all there. Can you guys hear everything? Knowing me with how I've been doing this, let's make sure. Probably not. Of course not. You guys, of course, can't hear the jets. Now you can, because Moltar done fucked up again. I'm just in a constant state of screwing up. Just never goes away. There we go. Now you guys can hear the planes. Beep, as the engines sit here on the ground. So guys, I'm not gonna lie. Today is going to be a... What happened here? I pushed a button and we are under the map. Why are we under the map? Anyway. Don't know why that happened, but we're under the map for some reason. I don't know why. That was kind of an interesting camera angle. ED, was that intentional? I've never seen that before. I think it's because I have a modification somewhere that allows my camera to go below the ground, so I get these funky camera angles. And that's due to something that Alpha Whiskey needed for his supercuts. So that's why they're that way. I hear something. Where is it? Is that a Tomcat? Tomcats! So we got the kitties carrying the telephone poles, Task Force Trident's Rage, and Chewy taxiing down here. Guys, I will say, if you sent me liveries, they're gone. Because my computer went bye-bye. So everything I had for the streams went pew and blew up. So if you guys had liveries, I will need them again. They are gone forever. Unless you send them back to me. But 2 Tomcats coming for Task Force Trident and 2 16s. Not sure what Joint Task Force France is rocking up at Maycop. If you guys are just joining us, this is Maycop taking on Sanaki in a Gold League matchup between Task Force Trident and Joint Task Force France. That is a lot of task forces in these teams' names. So if we take a look at what's going on for Joint Task Force France, we got 3 16s and a JF-17. So in totality for today's matchup, we have 5 16s, 1 17, and 2 14s. I am not sure if we are on the B or the A weapon restriction. This is a boring song, so we're going to move that. I'm not sure what weapon restriction we are on, but it is going to be Maycop taking on Sanaki. Okay? Okay. But how has everybody been? My weekend was not good. It was spent rebuilding computers that I didn't want to rebuild. That is not fun. I don't like doing it. Especially when things are expensive. But my computer is running much better. Much better. Much better. So there is that. Rebirthing and redoing things, though it does suck with computers, a lot of times when you redo it and you don't have all that bloatware and there's all that shit that doesn't need to be on there, you know, man, it just, things have a tendency to just be better. Much better. Earhart says he's been updating drivers. That is boring. What drivers are you updating? Can't need to update that much. Let's reposition this camera here. Man Bear Pig, my wallet too. I'm anticipating like $1,500 for 3090. I'm hoping that's where it's going to be. God, what happened to us, man? The last release of GPUs killed us for pricing on what GPUs should be. It went from like $800 being, that's so much money, to now $1,500. I'm okay with $1,500. Yeah. You know you enjoyed it. I did not enjoy it. I did not. It's one thing to build a new computer just to build one, and you're excited because you're building one. It is not fun replacing shit that just worked and then decided to quit. That is not fun. Because you're spending money on things you already had to replace things that you're not gaining any performance from. Not fun. Not fun. Anyway, how you guys think this match is going to go? I think it's going to be pretty even. I'm going to give the edge to Task Force Trident solely because of the kitties. Telephone pole-sized projectiles do some work. They do the things, and when they cause people to run into the ground, that is undefeated. Cause people to die, and when people die, they can't continue to compete. Need to be alive in order to keep competing. 'Tis the way of life. Watching these guys get ready to take off. Again, we are watching Task Force Trident here at Sanaki. Joint Task Force France is sitting at Maycop. I think these guys are just getting some things ready to go. They are rolling. Let's crank up the volume. I'm going to get rid of my webcam here in a second. They are rolling. Here we go. Ingressing has begun. Where are these guys on the map? They are sitting at 100 miles away from one another. So not a close mission location, sitting here in Makop versus Senaki. But you know, distance brings in the fuel equation. And this has been a really popular map location this year. So I guess it's nice, and it provides, I don't know, it provides substance. The team seem to like it. I haven't been keeping track of what people have thought on the betting. Samurai says he's anti-marijuana, can't support teams that promote joints. Who promotes joints? I must have missed something. I'm not hip on the lingo. But to go through who is flying, we got Rex and Plague Doctor in 16s for Task Force Trident, and Rage and Chewie repping the kitties, or the Tomcats, for Task Force Trident. And then if we move over to... These guys are all rocking some pretty baller formations. If we move over to Joint Task Force France, Marco and Zank are in 16s, and then flipping around, we got Ralph and Gemini in 16s, and Zank is actually in a JF-17, so lots of single-engine aircraft coming from the Frenchies. But I am digging these formations by these teams. Close formations getting rocked. I mean, look at this. I wonder if this stack is to try and hide them from radar, because it is more difficult to pick individual targets out when they're stacked. This is pretty cool. Then if we look at, I mean, we were looking at them, but I mean, Task Force Trident, they've now broken apart. Tomcats are going south, so Rage and Chewie are headed south, now over Mach 1 at 41,000 feet, trying to give those telephone poles the best launch experience they could have. Still climbing. I'm going to guess they're going to be about 45,000 feet by the time they start launching those biggins. Oh, there went one. You guys didn't see it, but there went one. And these guys have started to defend. So there goes the contrail. Looks like a Mark 60 for how long that thing's burning. No, it's a Mark 47. So she took off. And that was launched from, there go the fuel tanks. So I like that Joint Task Force, or Task Force Trident, is being vigilant on jettisoning fuel tanks when they're actually empty. That was launched from approximately 55 miles. Now, some people may be like, Moltar, no. Bad news. Bad news bears launching from that distance. Well, if the enemy stays high, that missile, she got some smash. She can make some things happen. So if we tag along with her, she's right here. The key is going to be that she tracks the whole way. Let's go to split screen. Is she tracking? Is the question. It does not look like it. I think they lost lock. Yeah. So good maneuver by Joint Task Force France, because that missile looks like she's headed somewhere up here. Oh, nope. She picked something up. But she bled a ton of energy in that turn. She's already down to 600 knots. She is toast. So nothing left. No oomph left on that Phoenix. But, you know, got to take what you can get. That shot, if it did anything, was force Joint Task Force France to separate. So I'll give that to him. We'll give him that. But now we've got a 2v2 scenario, and actually a 2v4 scenario possibly developing here. Joint Task Forces Raph and Gemini are heavily separated from Marco and Zank up here in the north, and all 4 Task Force Trident pilots are now down here to the south, just southeast of Guadada. So that Phoenix may have done its job. I don't know what the actual intention was, but it seemed to do its job of getting these guys to separate. So now we've got a 2v4 possible situation developing. 120B now being launched from Marco. From 30 miles, is not going to do anything. It's too far away. Unless these guys stay at a high altitude. Which is possible. Definitely possible. See if we can grab this Phoenix. That is the old Phoenix. There she is. 2,000 knots. 1,800 knots now. Split screen! So we can see the Phoenix is right here. She is trucking. She is still trucking and still tracking. 5 miles now. 1,200 knots. Is she going to run out of juice by the time she gets there? 4 miles. I don't know. I don't know. What's going to happen? Let's grab the F-16's point of view. Where's the Phoenix? 1 mile away. Still trucking. 800 knots. Is she going to make it? I don't think so. And we're actually, the cameras aren't synced up. I need to fix that. One is a little bit far behind the other one. So we're going to fix that real quick. Pause. Sorry, guys. Just linking up the cameras here. There we go. And you guys didn't miss anything. Marco is now getting into it way too deep. Marco, where are you going? What is happening? 8 Mile Phoenix, you can see it bearing down on him. This is problem. This is major problem. Is he going to be able to line of sight it? Yes. Marco, you're by yourself. Where are you going, my friend? This is bad. So bad. Don't come up now! Bad! No! And he tries to recommit. Do the Tomcats see him? Rage does not see him. That's a wall! Oh no! And that's the ground. Four pilots remaining for Task Force Trident. Ground claims another victim. One missile off the rails for RAF. That's going to be on Rex. Is that going to have a chance in hell? 7 miles. No, he turns away. Another 120 coming from Gemini. That's going to be on Plague Doctor. Plague Doctor is now defending. 3 miles away. 2.5 miles away. This is going to be a close one. 1.5 miles. 600 knots. He's really low, and he's going to be able to out-energy that missile. No problem. But now we've got Raph and Plague Doctor on a collision course. Let's go to split view. We're going to stay here with Plague Doctor. These guys are going to be merged. Does Plague Doctor see Raph? No. Flies right by him. But now we've got Gemini, who's 5 miles ahead. No, Gemini's 4.5 miles down. So now Plague Doctor is sandwiched between Raph and Gemini. Raph now puts a 120 out onto Chewie. And Chewie disconnected. He didn't want anything to do with that. So Chewie was like, missile! And gets the hell out of Dodge. But now we've got Plague Doctor all over the 6 of Raph, and he's now merged with a 2-ship of Raph and Gemini. So there's Gemini. And there's Plague Doctor. And live tac view guy, ladies and gentlemen, I don't think is working right now. But Gemini gets launched on. It looks like we need to redo some camera angles here. And Gemini gets taken down. But now it's Plague Doctor coming in. Are the cameras not synced up anymore? Yeah, they're synced up. And there goes a missile onto Gemini from Plague Doctor. But Gemini was already taken down. And so both of the guys from Joint Task Force France get taken out. And now it's just Zank. Zank is the only one remaining for Joint Task Force France. And that one was launched onto Rex. Rex is now split S-ing, trying to get away from that. There is Zank out there behind us, 10 miles away. running. Tanks get jettisoned from Rex's aircraft. Try and get to the same timestamp. There we go. And let's try this. 3 views. TAC view and 2 cameras. We're making things happen. Anyway, Zank is now on a collision course with Plague Doctor. Plague Doctor is now on the upper right camera. Let's see if we can get Zank in here. There's Zank. And there goes a missile from Plague Doctor. Zank's in trouble, and he gets bamboozled, face-miled coming over that hill, and he gets taken down. That is unfortunate. That is an unfortunate happening. But Joint Task Force France just gets demolished. Yeah, Shifty, I got to move the camera around a little bit. Maybe zoom out or something. I'll figure it out. Honk says dominated. Dominated is the correct word. That was complete and utter destruction. Brought to you by Task Force Trident. Diagnosis, yes, the ground did help in the demolishment. But Task Force Trident sent them there. So well flown by Task Force Trident. I don't know if they're going to have to RTB. What happened, ladies and gentlemen? What? That was a bamboozlement. Man. Dismantling. It just seemed like Joint Task Force just committed all on their own. They didn't commit into 2 ships or what have you. It was just, I don't know. I missed a couple subscriptions. Positron subscribed, tier 1 for came back for 2 months, says Supercut Hype. Hell yeah. And then Square Papa or SQ Papa subscribed for the first time with the tier 1. Thank you very much. Hopefully you guys enjoy the show and welcome to the family. So we're going to jump to the TAC view. I got to make sure that the TAC view is set here. But man, War Crimes asks, have you guys ever decided to run, for lack of a better term, low tier events, something with less capable jets like F5 or MiG-21? That's possible. If there's enough interest, sure. I don't see a problem with that. The problem with that becomes IFFing. It just gets... Maybe we could do like F5s, like if you choose to fly F5. I don't know. The IFF becomes a thing. I guess we could do it with GCI, maybe. It's possible, though. I've thought about it. Ricardo, TAC view is not up because I have not opened the port for live TAC view. So TAC view is not working right now. It is not up. So we're going to go through the TAC view right now. All right. Let's bring TAC view up. So here's TAC view, along with my pretty face. I need to bring in a camera so that you guys can see what's going on. So we're gonna do left camera. So we're gonna do this one into TAC view, and then we're gonna resize this bad boy like so. There we go. Let's get rid of that. Put you in the upper corner. Okay. So TAC view is now. What the hell happened? What? Let's take a look. So this Phoenix, this first Phoenix that came off the rails right here, I don't know if this was intentional. I mean, the Phoenix launch obviously was intentional. Don't get me wrong. Phoenix launch, that was intentional. But what I mean is, was this the intended happening to get them to separate? It worked if it was. It did well. So these guys are now disconnecting, so we're gonna get rid of this. Anyway, so they separate. This second Phoenix forces them on the defensive. It was a good one. They just stayed in the notch and the missile goes out of energy. This 30-mile 120. Not going to do anything against good pilots. They're not going to respect it. This Phoenix forces him defensive. So I like that these Phoenixes are forcing them and keeping... It's like... How can I put this? I got to turn this off. It's hurting my head. There we go. It's like they're using the Phoenix not necessarily to get kills, but to create behavior out of their enemy team. Okay, which I do like. I like that they're utilizing the missile for that effect. You don't always have to get kills with your missiles. You can, if you use them and you're trying to get certain reactions and force people to defend while you close the distance. That, to me, that's a win, right? That right there, that's a victory. And they've created these separations all over the map. So now you have Marco, who's totally isolated. Granted, when he was up here, he should have just gone back to Zank, but he didn't. He gets into this position where he's totally isolated. It's unfortunate that Rage continues here. I would have liked to see Rage realize that, hey, I've lost situational awareness, and I need to back the hell out and allow Chewie to try and find him. And even Chewie, if he doesn't see him, just turn around. There's no reason to continue an ingress in this situation when you can't see your opponent. That is, you're creating a situation where you could possibly die. And unfortunately for Marco, the ground, the ninja squirrels just jumped out of nowhere and grabbed his aircraft and pulled him into the ground. He was dead. Didn't take a missile. So that's the first casualty. Now we're left with Raf, Gemini, and Zank for Joint Task Force France, and all 4 pilots for Task Force Trident. So now we have a V2 ship developing between Plague Doctor and Rex and Raf and Gemini. I don't like this defending in different directions. I would have liked to see them defend in the same direction so that they can stay together. When you defend away from one another, you end up in these situations where you're way too far apart in order to provide mutual support. Now they're 10 miles apart. You can't support them. Plague Doctor ends up committing into this engagement by himself, which I never like. He's committing into a 2v1 on his own, and gets really lucky that he doesn't come out dead. Because he's... yeah. Chewie disconnects. Yeah, you can see that he stops, so he ends up disconnecting. I would have liked to see Chewie launch into this situation, maybe on Gemini, to force him out, to force him defensive, so then it creates a 1v1 scenario instead of a 2v1 scenario. That would have been beneficial. Plague Doctor gets really lucky in that Raph sorts onto Chewie instead of, you know, continuing around here, and then Raph breaks off, which allows Plague Doctor to come in up on his 6th, and then Plague Doctor gets lucky again in that Gemini doesn't just launch on him when he comes overhead. I think this whole situation was just a complete lack of situational awareness, which happens. They're in the mountains. They can't see each other. They probably a piss-poor data link, and, you know, what can you do? But this is what ends up coming of it, and I'm going to assume that that was a missile or Raph hit the ground. Raph may have hit the ground there. I don't know what happened. Does anybody have... from either Task Force Trident or Joint Task Force France know what happened there? I missed it. I'm going to assume he hit the ground because we didn't see it on stream. And then I think Gemini got hit by something. I think it was a missile. So he gets hit by Plague Doctor. So Plague Doctor, if he got both kills, well done. He was able to regain his situational awareness and come out with 2 Ws. I was going to try and Ws. Just bear with my gang signs. I'm throwing them up. Deal with it. That was a tree kill. Ninja squirrels. Okay. So this missile, maybe they both were, but I'm going to give the credit to at least Gemini for at least Gemini to Plague Doctor. So well done, Plague Doctor, you know, living in that scenario. And then Zank was like out having a picnic. I don't know what he was doing. He got lost. Maybe his INS screwed up, but he's way out of the fight. Way out of the fight. I would have liked to see a long Phoenix here from Rage to keep him defensive, climb, force him defensive, and allow Rex and Plague Doctor to press without the worry of being sorted themselves. They can just close the distance and really put themselves in a very advantageous position to be able to take Zank out. But Zank recommits into... Guys, don't do this. Don't do this. Don't try and recommit on a bandit this close, especially if he sees you. If you see... if you see an RWR, just assume that he sees you. Even if you know there's a guy closer, just assume that he sees you via PPLI, right? If you get any RWR spike, you have to assume that the enemy team sees you. Okay? You have to. Maneuver kill rule, if you are in an engagement and actively sorting on somebody and they fly into the ground, that kill is credited to you. Because you effectively cause them to fly headlong into the earth and allowed the ground to increase its kill to death ratio, right? I mean, it's 1,000,000 to 1 already, but you are the reason, theoretically, that happened. So you get the credit for the kill. Even if you did actually hit them with a pokey stick or, you know, big or small, you still get the credit for the kill. That's what's going on there. Anyway, we're going to jump to round 2. Task Force Trident took round 1 pretty commandingly, but we're going to jump back to the supercut. Actually, we're going to do a fan video. Okay? So we're going to watch a fan video just to give me a little bit more time, and then we're going to come back with round 2. Task Force Trident taking on Joint Task Force France. Task Force Trident is up 1-0.
The night back in the as you stand upon the edge, woven by a single thread, and fate may fall down upon you, while the devil is knocking right at your door.
Adrian Caparzo. Oh, so good. So good. God. He yanks on your heartstrings. The music, the sound of just fucking awesome. Him and Alpha Whiskey, dude. Just. Adrian, if you're out there, I love your stuff. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Anyway, guys, I saw some guys asking in chat. Task Force Trident took round 1-0 with 3 aircraft remaining. They did not have to RTB. Fleetfoot is also good, and I've actually got him dialed up on my second fan video in case we have to jump to one. Fleetfoot is also very good. Keller's good. The fact that I know these guys' names, their YouTube names, that should say something. I mean, they're all. Oh. The Fleetfoot one I've got dialed up, which I'll show after this one, is also very good. So huge shout outs to all of them. But anyway, Task Force Trident took round 1 pretty commandingly with 3 aircraft remaining. They did not have to RTB. They cut the round short. We are going to be watching round 2 coming in here again. Joint Task Force France is represented by 3 16s and a JF-17, and Task Force Trident has 2 16s and 2 14s. Do we think the 14s were the game changer in that round 1? I think yes. They were able to do enough that Joint Task Force France just didn't seemingly know how to deal with them, right? And they were Mark 47s. They were able to separate the enemy team, Task Force Trident, I mean, use the 14s to separate the other team. And it seemed like they went in with a game plan, and they executed that game plan. And Positron says it could have been 4, but they had that disconnect. So that's very true. They did have that disconnect. So that very well could have been 4, though I think Chewie may have eaten that 120 from close range, and I think his internet connection got scared. Like, I don't want to die! And it disconnected. Anyway. I think Joint Task Force France, their main problem was the ground. Ninja Squirrels. That seemed to take several of their aircraft. I mean, we rode along with, who was it, Marco? Ground just jumped right out. Sometimes it'll do that. It's got those long fingers. Just reaches out and grabs people. And that's what it did. It reached out, and it grabbed him, and it pulled him down, and he died. Because when you come out in contact with the ground, you don't usually come out unscathed, and usually you end up without an aircraft, either hanging by a bag or going home in a box, if they can find you. Anyway, let's jump into the sim, see how these guys are going to get on for round 2. Task Force Trident is leading 1-0. I'm not going to show my face. It's too complicating. I need to set up scenes to do it. I'm just not going to do it right now. So you guys, you're just going to have to deal with it. Anyway, Diagnosis says France lost situation of their grouping from the AIM-54s, and it went down from there. They never realized they needed to pull back and regroup. I think they just defended away from each other. They needed to go towards each other, right? They just got too separated, which is, I think, is your point, Diagnosis. And they are diagnosed. They got separated, and it was just downhill, right? Once you're going downhill in opposite directions, first you got to stop, but you're already going downhill, so it's even harder to stop. So you got to stop, then climb back up the hill, and it's just got to stop digging in order to get out of the hole. Got to stop digging. It's the important part. But we're here at Sinaki now with Joint Task Force France on the runway. Hell, if this is a quick round and Joint Task Force Task Force Trident comes out on top. It's too many task forces. Too many. Anyway, if Task Force Trident comes out on top, you may be able to see the NVIDIA stream. Could be interesting. Master Shadow with the Prime sub. Thank you very much. Welcome to the family. Hope you're enjoying the show. For anybody that doesn't know, this is the only quip I make in that if you guys have Amazon Prime, you get a free sub every month. You know, you don't have to use it here. You can use it anywhere. It does not auto-redeem. So you got to use it and make sure you use it every month. Anyway, sitting here on the runway with these guys. Travago said, I think that's Rage. Sent me a fan video. I do like Warriors. That's a good one, Trig. I like that one, too. That's a solid one. Oh, these guys are rolling. I heard the engine spool up. So these guys are getting ready to roll. We're just gonna talk through this one instead of turn up the volumes here. Well, we'll turn up the volumes a little bit. Anybody have plans for this week, this weekend? My plan is just to fly some DCS because I wasn't able to do that last week, and continue trying to get my stream put back together. Car work. What's wrong with your car? Car works usually sounds bad. Gun range. There's a good one. You know, I do not own any guns. I don't know why. I just don't. I guess between DCS and streaming and kids, and I wouldn't have time, and I don't need another expensive hobby. I'm already heavily into audio, right? I'm, what else could we say? I'm heavily into DCS and PCs and stuff. I really don't need another expensive hobby. Lemon owns 7. Yeah, Ricardo, TacView does not work. I haven't opened the port. It'll be up on Thursday. Used to be into motorcycles till, you know, delivery truck got the best of me. That'll do that. That'll do it to you. Abrupt halt on a motor vehicle usually is a bad, very bad thing. Navy Doc says he owns 5 guns, 5 firearms. Solid. Solid. Yeah, Trent, I didn't die though. You know, I'm the lucky one. And actually, we've talked about this before, but I'm really lucky that it wasn't a car and it was a delivery truck, because if it was a car, I would have been airborne. The delivery truck, you know, I hit it and I stopped. So I didn't become airborne or hit like a immovable I-beam or something. Or I-pillar or something. That would have been even worse. I didn't break any bones. I tore my PCL, tore my completely fucked up my shoulder. My brain's still, you know, foobar, but I got to live with that. So I can do this for a few hours. I go take a nap afterwards, and I'm pretty exhausted afterwards. But you get me around a bunch of people, and I have to read body language and stuff, and it's my brain's like, Baltar, I can't do it, and just goes and sits in a corner by itself and cries. That's how my brain works now. But I didn't die, so you know the key to living is not dying. So that was beneficial. Delivery trucks usually do it on purpose. Yeah. Maybe. Dude, Samurai, my face was already pretty fucked up. Don't blame that on the delivery truck. It was already pretty messed up. Looks like a lot of people are betting on Task Force Trident here. I don't know, after given last round, I'd probably be betting on them too. Samurai says, just kidding, I love your face. I thought you said you were gonna say you took a facial or something. You know, delivery truck to the face, unseen facial. Those are the worst. My face was pretty fucked up, and he was already fucked up. It's pretty ugly, but that's a self-burn. They're rare. Not on this channel, because I burn myself all the time, but, you know, whatever. Has the NVIDIA stream started? Anybody have a countdown for that? I like Joint Task Force France's ingress formation. This like vertical stack is pretty cool. I like it. We haven't seen anybody else do this. I like it a lot. "3 minutes," says Man Bear Pig. Who's Cal Naughton Jr.? It's probably somebody I should know, but I don't. I don't watch any news. It's so worthless nowadays. It just makes me angry. And I have a tendency to curse a lot when that stuff's on, and I can't anymore because my daughter. Like, I called some other driver a fucktard a few days ago, and my wife's like, "You can't say that!" And my son in the back's like, "What did he say?" And my wife had to explain, "Well, your dad said tard and the F word." And he started laughing. So I get very creative when I call people, names. I mean, they're not new, but like cum dumpsters and stuff like that. It's just, I don't like the normal ones of normal names that people call them. You got to get creative. Just show people your disdain. How much disdain and anger you have for them. How do I control the volume of the stereo while I'm watching TV? I don't know what you mean. Diagnosis, you can say the C word on here. I won't get mad at you. It's okay. Maybe the bot will get mad at you, but I won't get mad at you. This is an adults-only channel. Parents, if you allow children into this channel, anything they come away with and start saying to you, it's your fault. If they call you a fucktard for screwing up dinner or something, Mom, I'm sorry. I can't do anything about it. We talk about the real world here. And they're just going to lay it out after seeing what's going on in this channel. They're just going to tell you how it is. Summer, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Like, did they cheat on you and that's why you're calling them that? Or is that, I don't... Classic wiener. I would take that a step forward, Gutter Kings, and actually call them a classic wiener. Like, not even just wiener. Just be like, you, sir, are the pinnacle classic wiener. Like, it's one thing to call them a dick, but if you actually take the time to call them a classic wiener, I think that says something. Captain Cleveland, we're not going back to elementary school, okay? We're not going that far back. Separation between the two teams is down to, I think that says 57. ED, if you're listening, make this damn line thicker so it's easier to read. Please. It's too thin. Like, make it thicker. Bold it. That'd be my suggestion. Task Force Trident releases the AIM-54 again from range. Let's grab it. There she goes. Music change. So riding along with, I'm going to call this Rage's AIM-54 Mark 47. 55,000 feet. 1,700 knots. Why does it do that? Peopler, why does the missile do that? Why does it like pitch down and then correct itself? It loses something like 300 knots. Anger inducing. Why? I don't know why it does that. Joint Task Force France, what do you do? I understand what you're doing, but defend together, right? Don't separate. You're creating problems for yourselves later. You cannot provide mutual supports between elements. elements. It just... This missile's trash. There's no point in watching it. But defend together. Don't fly away from one another. You're making it more difficult on yourselves later in the match. And I can almost guarantee with 100% accuracy that this is going to come back and bite them in the ass here in about 5 minutes. And now Zank, where are you going? I wonder if they're trying to set up a grinder? I don't like grinders in this scenario. It creates too much isolation, right? I really do not like it. Especially ones that are this big. If they're nice and small, great. But if they're this big, I really don't. I'm not a fan. There's another Phoenix. There it is. So let's jump over. It is tracking. She is tracking. She's coming in. She's coming in with some oomph. Is she going to have enough? Who's she on? She's on RAF. Where is it? There it is. 0.8 miles. 0.6 miles. Oh, my God. And she takes him out. Face smiled by the mile. And boom. It's super effective. Missiles are definitely super effective against their intended targets. Now we got another AIM-54 coming in against Marco. Where is it? There it is. 2 miles away. I have no idea how much energy that missile has left. What's it have left? Probably not a lot. 700 knots. That thing's trashed. But man, he just got pounded. Just destroyed. No defensive maneuver until the last minute. And unfortunately, when you try and defend at the last minute, AIM-54s are going to go to Pound Town, unlubricated. And that's exactly what happened. AIM-54 now launched from Rage onto Zank. Zank puts an SC-10 out there, but SC-10 launched from that far away is going to do nada. Now we've got Marco isolated against a two-ship of Rex and Plague Doctors. That thing have any juice left? She does. So let's see if we can grab her. There she is. There she is. 1.5 miles. And notched. Well done by Zank there. Well done. Now we've got an incursion. Marco breaks and gets the hell out of Dodge against the two-ship of Plague Doctor and Rex. And it's just 3 isolated areas. So Gemini's isolated, Marco is isolated, and Zank is isolated. There's no mutual support. Bad news bears. All around. Let's see the energy change here. Ooh, he's going to get run down. For sure. 200 knots closure. Altitude difference. This is bad for Marco. This is very bad. And I like this. I like this. Split screen. And I'll show you what I mean. I like that Plague Doctor breaks off from Marco and puts a missile on Zank. I like that. Zank does the smart thing and puts a missile on Plague Doctor and one on Rex because he's going to have to defend. But I really, really like that. What Plague Doctor was trying to do, even though he's out of an effective PK range or an effective shot range, he was trying to push Zank off and create this 1v1 scenario, right? I really like that. I like that a lot. We got a missile coming off from Rex. It's coming in onto Marco. Marco, Polo. That missile's saying Polo. Right now, I don't see... There it is. There it is. 0.8 miles. 0.5 miles. Notched. Marco's like, you're not going to hit me. And the missile didn't know where to go. Lost him. So now Joint Task Forces France, Marco and Zank have regrouped. Coming now against the singleton of Plague Doctor. How's this going to shape up? Plague Doctor is still hot. Let's go to split screen. Back here to split screen again. Still hot against Marco. 120B launch from Marco. He starts to defend. Plague Doctor, I like. No! Don't launch! You nuts! Wow! That thing just came up and bit Plague Doctor in the ass. But Plague Doctor somehow is able to stay alive. Is he alive? Yeah, he's still alive. He's now merged with Marco. I'm going to try and keep track of what's going on here. And we've actually got another merge up to the north between Gemini and Chewie. So we're going to watch both of these as they unfold. We're not going to be able to see behind Chewie. Plague Doctor puts a 120 out on a Marco. Is it tracking? Yes, that is tracking. And Gemini gets flattened by a missile coming in off screen. Marco's going to get demolished by this 120. He gets taken down by Plague Doctor. And that's it. So Rex must have taken down the other guy from Joint Task Force France who was over here. So it was a 2v2. Plague Doctor merged with both, and I guess they ran a train and took him down. 4 pilots remaining for Task Force Trident. Now, Plague Doctor did take a hit, but there's some weird stuff that can happen with geometry, so on and so forth. If you're pulling high G and stuff, if a missile hits you, sometimes it doesn't do damage. We've seen that in the past, though I don't think that's intentional, what Plague Doctor did. It's just... Zank hit the hill? Oh, no. Ground claims another victim. Bad news bears. Just reached out and grabbed him, pulled him down to his doom. Anyway. TAC view time. And I'm going to bring up the RTB camera. Boop. There we go. So we can see these guys RTBing. I'm going to give us a little bit of volume here. There we go. I see RTBs. Let's see what happened in the TAC view. That match was quick. Okay, so they effectively use these AIM 54s really well again. We're a little too far ahead. Joint Task Force France, if you're listening, don't separate like this. You're removing all the possibilities for mutual support. Don't do this. You're 30 miles away from each other. You can't help your other 2 ship when you do this. And I don't know what's going on here, but stay together, guys. You're just creating 1v1 in isolated scenarios where you can get ganged up on. You're giving your opposition the opportunities that they need to create scenarios where they can come out with the victory. Okay? So nothing happens here for a while. Oh, the Phoenix hit against Raf. That was just a late defense. I don't know if it came down over the top of his RWR or what, but Raf gets taken down, and that's the beginning of the end for Joint Task Force. So now it's a 1v1 situation here, or a isolated situation here, isolated situation down here, an isolated situation here. It's just bad news all over the map. Marco and Zank do a good job. Marco does a good job of not just recommitting into Rex. I like that. He runs away. And then he runs back to Zank, notches this 120 that comes in on him. So good job there. Here comes the merge between Plague Doctor and Marco. This is the missile that hit him, and it did hit him. Maybe it didn't hit him on Marco's screen and actually hit the ground. That's definitely a possibility. And looks like Zank hit the ground. So that's where he disappeared. So he hit the ground, and now we've got a 2v1 situation. Plague Doctor against Rex. Or Plague Doctor and Rex against Marco. Long 120. You get launched on in this scenario, guys. You bet your ass you better be serpentining or try and line of sight that. Don't just fly in a straight line. It's gonna kill you. It is going to kill you. And it did. It did kill him. Beep. And he gets taken down. And then at the same time, we've got this situation up here with Gemini. So let's back up and see what happened. Gemini ingresses. He's got the advantage here. I would like to see him put a missile right now to force Chewie back on the defensive, but he doesn't. And he ends up merging with Chewie. And when you merge with somebody like this, if you're going to break away, you better make sure that they don't see you. But that's not the case. Ooh, that's a lucky shot by Rage. Rage, you better be careful here, brother. Unless Chewie was line of sighted, that very easily could have picked Chewie up, right? That was, I don't like those shots, but it ended up working out for him. And Task Force Trident comes out with the W with 4 pilots remaining. 4 remaining. Chewie was above it. Okay. Okay. Well, we can see that. So let's back up here and let's go here and let's see. So you say Chewie was... I don't know, man. He doesn't look above it. He looks right in your field of view. That doesn't look above it. That looks like it could pick him up very easily from this range instead of tracking on its intended target on Gemini. That could have been bad news bears. He was merged with that shit. That could have been bad. He was above it when it got there, but he's still really close, man. I mean, let's grab the missile's point of view and see what the missile sees. Dude, no, that very easily could have picked up Chili. Very easily could have picked up Chewie, not Chili. Man, I don't like those shots. It worked out. I just don't like those shots. In that situation, I would have said, tell Chewie, break off and just have him get the bumfuck out of Dodge and get over this hill. Now you've created a 1v1 situation and you're on Gemini 6 instead of just shooting into this situation, because that could have very easily ended up in fratricide. That could have been bad news bears. Anyway, let's jump back. These guys are still RTBing. Riding along with Plague Doctor. How far away are they? 45 miles. They still got a decent ways to go. Chat, what'd you think about that match? Yeah, I'm excited. Any news yet on the NVIDIA stream? Damn, can't talk. But what'd you guys think about that match? It was really fast. Task Force Trident just railroaded Joint Task Force France into the ground. Pile drived him. Smashed him with a sledgehammer up the butt with a railroad spike. Talking about the new AI? Well, that's always interesting. It was unfortunate that it was fast, but given the NVIDIA stream, I am kind of happy that I get to watch it. Captain Cleveland, I think they're just new. Should be about 30 miles away now. Though the Tomcats got 1 kill with the Phoenix, which some would argue wasn't very effective. I think it ended up working out rather well because it created disorganization and chaos in the Joint Task Force France's lines, which I think was exactly what they were trying to do. Foxtrot Alpha, you're a little late. 2-0 as long as Task Force Trident's able to put it down at Maycop. I still wish Twitch would get back to me on partnership. Still no word. I mean, I'll check my email real quick. Let's check that. Guess I can bring up my camera. Boop. Let's check my email right quick. See if I missed anything today. Probably not. Nope. No news. God, it's been like 5 weeks. Probably COVID related. Me and my guess. Call Jeff Bezos. Dude probably doesn't even have a phone. Probably has something implanted from Elon Musk into his head. I don't know why I said that. Did anybody catch the Falcon landing yesterday? I think it was yesterday. Did anybody catch that? Looked pretty cool. One guy, it took several years to get Twitch to move. Really? I mean, I applied for partnership. Maybe I just need to send him an email. But I think that was that Booster's White Widow That was that booster's, like, 4th time landing. So that was pretty cool. I don't know that they're jerks. I mean, I think they're just... It's a huge platform, and I don't think they have enough support channels. So I don't know that they're intentionally jerks. Now, Uritar, man, there'll be some excuse to why the Earth is still flat. Let's not sugarcoat anything. Wonder if these guys are going to land together. Maybe. Looks like they're rejoining for an overhead. If we move back and look at Plague Doctor. I don't see the airfield yet. They're turning. Must be off to our right. There it is. There's Maycop. Guess we're doing an overhead. Oh, Plague Doctor overtaken? Or is he rejoining? Overtaking. Let's look from Rex's point of view. Looks like they are doing an overhead. There goes Rage. There goes Plague Doctor and Chewie at the same time. Interesting. Rex still hasn't gone. There goes Rex. Task Force Trident may be terrible formation, but all that matters is you guys won. Can anybody post a link to the NVIDIA stream in chat, please? So I don't have to go hunt for it. I'd really appreciate that. I'm sure everybody in chat would too. For anybody that's looking to go over there. Rage looks like he's going to be the first to touch down here at Makeup and close out this victory of a match here for Task Force Trident over Joint Task Force France. That is so many task forces. Oh, it's on NVIDIA's. They have a Twitch? Did not know that. Not sure what the zoom's doing here. Did Rex disconnect? Oh, Rex no, he didn't. Wonder why it's zooming out like that. Interesting. Plague Doctor's now coming in behind Chewie. It was a gaggle, not a formation. Too true. That's an app word for it. Good one, Bullet. Plague Doctor, you're a little low to be doing those serpentines. Those serpentines are hard to do in the 16 with your restricted steering input. Still a little fast. You gonna come in short? Ugh. So he puts it down, and Rex is back there a few miles. Going up and down, doing the vertical serpentine. And that is it, ladies and gentlemen. Task Force Trident able to close it out against Joint Task Force France 2-0, only losing one combatant. So well done by them. I'm going to cut it here, guys. We're going to move on to the NVIDIA stream. Real quick, I am going to check the who flies next week. So let's take a look at that. Or not next week, on Thursday. Who's flying Thursday? So Thursday's match is going to be ECV 56 taking on Dragon Squadron, followed by Saturday, Tactical Fighter Squadron 81 against Griffin Squadron. So those are your two matchups coming in. Be watching for the Supercut released by Alpha Whiskey. If you guys haven't already, follow us here on Twitch. Follow us and, excuse me, subscribe to us on YouTube so you can see all the Supercuts. And follow us on Twitter so you can get all the information like me not streaming on Thursday or Saturday. But guys, that's all I got. I'm going to send us out with the Supercut for this match. I'm jumping over to the NVIDIA stream. I'll see you guys Thursday. Have a good one. It's good to be back.